Hello guys and welcome to another installment of Computers and Technology, and today I'm going to try to switch things up a bit because for the past 20 videos or so we've been taking a look at PC peripherals, and yeah, that's fun but starts to get boring after a while, and it's time to change things up a little bit, at least in this video anyway. After this we're probably going to go back to PC peripherals. Once again, I do enjoy it, but after 20 videos straight of making PC peripheral reviews, I would like to take a look at something different, and today that's exactly what we are going to do. In front of me you can see I have a black case, and inside said case is a cheap little soldering iron from Sywon, and I say cheap because it was 20 bucks. This entire kit, including the case, is 20 bucks on Amazon. If you want to check this out, the link will be in the description. These are sold under a couple different names. They're all the same irons. And I've heard some decent things about these, and I've heard some really bad things about these, like they'll just start melting in your hands. So today I want to see if that is actually true. Not really going to be an unboxing today because there's not really anything to unbox. It's really going to be more of a first look and test. I want to see if these are, half decent for the money. This is the baseline model, and I was more interested in taking a look at the baseline model because it's a little bit more accessible as far as price is concerned. There's also an upgraded model that comes with a couple other things. I can't remember what exactly they are off the top of my head. I'll probably throw an overlay on the screen so you guys can check that out. The link for that one will also be in the description, and I'm hoping that maybe I could get them to send that one over too so we could compare and contrast the differences between the two little kits. But I'm just going to take a quick look around the box right now. Overall quality is not too bad. A little bit flexy here and there, especially towards the center. As you can see, I can push that down with my thumb. There is a little give, but overall it's going to protect everything in the kit in case of a fall if you're banging it and knocking it around. A nice little portable case, really like that, and that's one of the reasons I was also interested in this, because I would like to have a portable soldering kit just to carry around when needed. I'll drop it right here. Yeah, not too bad, nothing broke. Hey, that's alright. So we'll go ahead and pop this open. Alright, so here we go. It looks like we have a user manual on top. Actually, maybe not. It says how to solder circuit board. Interesting. It just looks like a little guide then. Is there actually any user manual part? Okay, yeah, kind of. How to replace tips, and that's really about it. And I was kind of curious about that too. So it looks like on this section, all we had to do to replace a tip is unscrew it, take this off, and remove the tip and put a new one on. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward. I was actually curious about how they were executing that. And I just realized there's this nice foam lining inside the case that seems like it's preventing everything from shaking around. Actually, let me close that again and just give it a little shake here. Does anything really move around? A little bit, not super effective. You can hear it hitting against the walls of the case right there, and I'm not going to do it any longer because I might break that soldering iron in there. But let's go ahead and take a look at everything else without breaking it. We have a little Y stand right here. Not a huge fan of the Y stand for this portable configuration because every time you close the case you're going to have to put it back down, and when you do that it's actually going to stress this section of the metal out right here, so eventually that's probably going to snap off. Not a great choice for this type of kit, but it gets the job done. I do have to say that the soldering iron does feel a bit cheap. It's definitely on the lighter side, and for something coming from a kit that is $20, I didn't really expect much more. As long as this gets the job done, I'm going to be completely satisfied. Now, I was referring to a melting issue earlier, and I've seen a lot of pictures online where similar looking soldering irons have actually destroyed themselves due to poor design between the metal and the plastic right here. This plastic will actually start melting, the metal section will droop down, and the soldering iron will no longer be usable. So I want to make sure that's not a problem that's prevalent in this particular iron. Taking a look at a couple other features on the iron, you can see that there is a nice rubber grip right here. It actually feels pretty comfortable. There's a temperature control right here going from, oh my god, that font is really small. It's going from 200 degrees Celsius all the way up to 450 degrees Celsius, and it feels pretty smooth. And then there is a power cable right behind that, and that's about 5 feet in length. Also in the kit we have 5 additional soldering tips, a desoldering pump, which actually doesn't feel too bad. It's about the same quality as the one I have now, but will it actually get the job done, and will this little tip here start melting when it makes contact with the solder? We will see in just a minute. And of course we have some 60/40 soldering wire right here, none of that lead-free stuff. I think this just pops off. There we go, and we should be able to take it out. A nice long strand right there. And of course it's in a little dispensary pen tend to make things really convenient. Initial impressions are pretty good. So far, I am satisfied with the quality of everything inside the kit, and it seems like a great value up to this point, but we will see if that lasts when we plug this in and test it out, which I'm going to do right now. Quick note, the only thing that this doesn't come with that you need to get started is something to wipe the excess solder off the tip of the iron. You could just use really any sponge that you have laying around. Go to the dollar store, grab a sponge, and you are good to go. The upgraded kit does already come with one, but once again, I was more interested in the base model, and hopefully I will get the opportunity to look at the upgraded one in the near future. So I have everything set up here, and we're just going to conduct a little test. I'm not really a pro at soldering, more of just a hobbyist, so if you have any tips for me, that would be really appreciated. Right off the bat, I'm not really a big fan of this Y stand because it's just sliding all over the place. And by the way, the soldering iron does not have a power switch, so in order to turn it on, you're just going to have to plug it in. I'm going to set this up to 450, and I'm going to see how long it takes to heat up. I'm going to time it on my phone right here. And when it starts to actually melt the solder, I will stop the timer. So I'm going to plug it in first and then start the timer. So there is a little red indication LED in there to tell you that the iron is on. I wonder if it turns green when it reaches the desired temperature. We will see. So I'm going to go ahead and start the timer and see how long it takes. Alright, so that actually heated up pretty quick. I'm going to turn it down a bit because this is going to get way too hot. So my first attempt was a complete failure. Wasn't really acquainted with these prototyping boards. After I had a little bit of practice, now I'm good. And the iron's actually been on for about 15 minutes. And as you can see, it looks perfectly fine. It's still doing its job. I'll crank this up to 450 degrees in a second to see if that causes any warping of the plastic or melting of the plastic. Right now it's set to 250. And it seems pretty accurate because it's having no problem melting that solder. The solder is not too bad. Quality's okay. Gets the job done. I prefer to use the stuff that I have in the back, but it's decent stuff. So let's give this a go, and hopefully I don't mess this trial up. I can't really see the leads too well, though. I wish I had like a magnifying glass in front of here. That would really help. And I think I do have an attachment, but don't know where it is at the moment. There we go. That's one. And that's two. The iron is still holding up pretty well. That LED indication light does not change colors. I have this cranked up to 450 degrees and it's been like this for about the past 3 minutes. I wanted to see if anything interesting would happen when we cranked it up that high, and so far nothing is happening. I'm going to demonstrate the desoldering pump in just a minute in action, and then that's going to pretty much conclude this video. Let me just try dumping some solder on here, and that is getting very hot. Whew, that stuff is melting on contact, very hot right now. And I'm going to go ahead and move on to something else because, it's still faring pretty well. I let that sit there for about 5 more minutes at 450 degrees and did not run into any issues. I'm going to test out the solder sucker right here, and we'll see if that works okay. I have it sit back down to 250. Oh wow, that works very well. That might work better than the pump I have now. I might have to swap that out. Yeah, so I'm very happy with that, and the tip isn't melting when it's making contact with the solder. Everything's working well with this. So overall, definitely not a bad kit for someone who just wants something cheap to get started, or if you want something portable / expendable. Got the job done, didn't melt down. Overall, pretty decent kit. Comes with almost everything you need except for a sponge. It's not something that I would use as my day-to-day basis soldering iron just because of the Y stand. It was sliding around all over the place, and half the time I was worried that it was going to fall off the table, fall into the carpet, and start a fire. So that was in the back of my mind the whole time. I would definitely buy a different stand for this if you plan to use it as your day-to-day soldering iron. So this is the first time I've ever reviewed a soldering iron on my channel, and I did really enjoy reviewing it, but I don't have the background and experience of reviewing similar products like this, so there's probably 1 or 2 things that I should have put in this video that were left out, unfortunately. So if you know what those are, if you want to see anything added to a similar review in the future, just post your critique in the comments section. That's going to be about it for this video. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can go ahead and post those in the comment section as well. Don't forget to drop a like on this video. If you didn't like like this video, please tell me why. And of course, do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can support me using my Amazon and eBay partner links, both of which will be in the description. You can also support me by checking out my Patreon, and don't forget to drop a like on my Facebook page. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next installment of A Computers and Technology.